What's up, VK family? Welcome to another video on Vital's YouTube channel with Mr. IH Productions behind the camera. Today, on our second vlog video of this channel, so you know it's gonna get real, you know it's gonna get exciting, where we'll be talking about our flagship store opening in Chicago in the next month. If you haven't watched part one of our vlog yet, where we talked about more of the foundational stuff like the location, the passion, and kind of what launched me to take this next step in Vital Kicks, definitely tap into that because I think it's a good watch. But today, we'll be getting a little bit more into the logistics and answering some really specific questions. Maybe that will behoove you and just let you know what goes into opening up a retail store. Maybe it'll encourage you, maybe it won't, and it'll just make you appreciate the stores that are around a little bit more because it is a lot, all right? We're gonna talk logistics, we're gonna talk infrastructure, we're gonna talk team, all right? And Mr. IH Productions will be interviewing me throughout this process, all right? But as always, guys, as we go through today, we hope for your interaction the most. If you see something really cool or a question just pops up into your head, just put that in the comments, all right? But that being said, let's get it, VK family.
Audio Jungle.
Hey Vital, before we go, how much inventory made you feel confident to open up a store?
Yeah, that's a great question as I wrap these bad boys up. And first of all, fear God, all that crazy news. That's right, your boy got these unreleased bad boys. But hey, inventory, let's pack these away. Anyway, sorry about that. Gotta keep the inventory protected, you know what I'm saying? So that's a really great question. I don't think it was exactly the number in terms of how many pairs or how much my inventory is worth before I opened. It was more so the flow of inventory. When I started to build connections and realize I could pull in 20, 30 pairs, 40 pairs, 50 pairs, maybe even 100 pairs per release or even on demand, right? Let's say there's no release, I could hit up my connections and buy that many pairs, authentic, legit, and all that fun stuff. That's when I knew, like, hey, the inventory, the supply is coming in, right? So it's a really good time to open up the store. But just to give you guys an idea of what I have sitting in this room and just what I feel confident going in without having to buy more, at least on the first day for grand opening. I have about 300 to 350 pairs of sneakers. And recently in the past month or two since I've committed to opening, signing that lease, I've really been trying to build my apparel. If you guys have been following me, Vital Kicks has been all about sneakers because that's what I really love. But lately with the store coming around the corner, I know I gotta pair up fitteds, I gotta pair up hoodies, hats, all the hype stuff, the Fear God, the Essentials, the Amiri, the Bape, all that stuff that you guys already know that revolves around sneakers and building those fits. That's what I'm really focusing now in terms of inventory. So that being said, I think to answer your question, Mr. IH Productions, it is the flow that matters the most. Are you consistently getting inventory that you can flip and that is reliable, right? And then on top of that, really having a lens on what you're missing in your inventory before you open up your store and making sure you fill that gap before you grand open, right? And that's the phase we're in right now. So that's a really great question. Okay, but it's getting late. The sunlight is gonna go away, so I'm gonna finish packing up these, $1,000, soon to be $5,000 sneakers, hopefully. And let's make our way to Chinatown. All right, guys, let's get it.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
All right, so we just stopped real fast to get a quick bite from Gourmet Food Inc. across the street. But a real quick thing, if you watch my first vlog, you know that the reason why we opened up the store in Chinatown is because I actually did a 3-month pop-up and it was super successful in Chinatown. And it's right here actually. It's called the Art Gallery, so I just wanted to show some love. I know it's closed right now. The owner's name is David, but he showed us love by renting out the top spot where I did my pop-up, and it was super, super successful. And if you take a look around, there's really not too much traffic on this street. It's kind of tucked away in the part of old Chinatown. So when we go back to the store, you'll see why I'm just so much more confident in that location. Seeing that we had success here, over there, we're definitely gonna have success. But I would be not doing myself justice or my history justice if I didn't show some love. So really cool we're here.
Hey, before the audience forgets, we gotta see the fit check.
Okay, you're right. I almost forgot that. That's always an important thing. So let's start from the head to the toe. First of all, we got the Diamondback fitted with the corduroy brim. This is actually from Clark Street Sports. Super cool, super exclusive. So I had to get that. And anything with the metallic threads, I just go crazy over, all right? This metallic new era on the green, absolutely beautiful. On the torso, I got the Carhartt I don't know what it is. It's kind of Bape looking, but it's Carhartt and it's kind of cool. So that's there. On the legs, I got the Paxson Cargos. Listen, I know Paxson is not necessarily hype, but at the end of the day, they have Fear God Essentials, and recently they've been selling Yeezys and Dunks for resale actually, so that checks out to me. And of course, most definitely, the Vital Kicks of the day today are gonna be the Oregon 5s. Super slept on, but super high quality. And I think when you rock it right, like your boy, they're definitely some heat. So there you go, guys.
Audio Jungle.
Okay, so we are back in Vital Kicks in Chinatown, and I actually haven't been here in a few days, but the contractors have been working 8 to 5 every day. So actually quite a lot of updates are in this space, and I'm really happy to see it. So if you look directly behind me, if you remember from our first vlog, we had big glass windows, a little bit of a tighter entrance coming in, and then we had 2 shelves to the left and right that were kind of like by my waist level. All of that was super outdated and really old looking. And also when you walked in, it just felt super like congested and tight. So as you can see, all that is gone. The contractors took care of it, made it nice and pretty, and right when you walk into that door, you just feel openness, right? And you can walk around to your left or your right. So that's a really big update there, and it looks really cool. I can't wait till it's completely done. Looking around all the walls, we had a lot of holes in the walls and missing parts and whatnot, so they filled in those drywall parts just to make everything cohesive and more or less ready to paint. Yeah, so these contractors have put in a lot of work, and I'm super happy, right? Almost ready to paint, which is one of the last things we need to do. They also need to put up the ceilings. As you guys can see on this side, it's still kind of the old rectangular structure, but on this side, they got the tracks up already, painting them black because we're gonna have a black ceiling. And this time it's gonna be squares, which I think is a little bit more modern, along with some updated lights. Other than that, the last thing is gonna be the floor. Definitely not keeping this carpet. We're gonna have some super sweet flooring, and I can't wait to show you guys that. So that's about it, guys. Like, we are really getting there, and I'm excited because the opening is right around the corner.
So how are you designing the space?
Okay, I actually did a lot of research. This is my first grand opening. This is my first retail store that I'm actually designing myself. So I looked into a lot of consignment stores and the way they're built, and actually I decided to do something a little bit different, right? Whereas every other consignment store really puts everything out and gives similar feels in terms of their customer service and whatnot, I wanted to be very intentional about making a luxury retail space. So when the space is complete, you'll see the fixtures, the furniture, the racks and all that are gonna have a different feel. Maybe something closer to Louis V, for example. I'm not gonna say I'm at Louis V level, but that's more so what I'm aiming for compared to your regular streetwear consignment store, right? So that being said, I can kind of show you how I'm visualizing the space, and from there you can kind of let me know in the comments whether you think that's luxury retail or not, okay? So right here in this corner, I'm imagining a very nice big art piece that just represents Vital Kicks and our commitment in Chinatown, right? And so it's definitely gonna have some Chinese feels in that artwork as well. But what's really cool is I'm gonna have a little lounge area, right? A little table with magazines, chairs and whatnot, just so people can feel comfortable and really come to relax as well, okay? Right next to that, we hope to have a few more racks. Right on this wall, probably be where we'll have some toddler pairs, less high demand pairs, but really just a space to hold that as well. On this long wall, going all the way down, for the most part, that's gonna be sneakers. As you guys know, and as I said earlier, Vital Kicks is mostly gonna be sneaker oriented, so this whole wall will be dedicated to that. And just looking around the city of Chicago, I haven't seen too many with an entire wall all the way down. And then the shelving we're choosing is gonna be different from anything I've seen in Chicago retail or consignment stores as well. So definitely excited to bring something new to the city, all right? Moving on down, right here, we're gonna have some display cases just because it's a more indented area, right? So we want some shelves to come out. And then directly to the left of that, down the remainder of this wall is going to be a big ass clothing rack, all right? Big clothing rack. And it's actually gonna be 14 feet, which is the length of this as well, all right? So tentatively speaking, that's gonna be the design. Our checkout counter is gonna be right about here. Describing it and just the layout isn't gonna give you too much because really it's the furniture and what we're buying that's really gonna glow up the space, not so much where it is in the space, if that makes sense. So definitely look forward to that. But yeah, that's how we design a space. Just getting really strategic about what the city is missing and how we can bring something new to the city, even though consignment stores and streetwear stores aren't exactly new to the culture, right?
So I think everybody knows about the upfront costs that it'll take to open up a store, but what are the hidden fees that probably nobody's gonna really know about?
Dude, that hit like straight to the heart because in the past month, there's been so many like, what? How much? I gotta do what? I gotta hire who? So yeah, there's a lot of hidden costs that I didn't know about walking in, but I did prepare for it walking in, right? So for example, the big initial things you focus on is gonna be rent, and it's going to be the renovation costs, right? So I knew those walking in, and I had that ready to go. The rent, the down payment for the rent or the security deposit, and then of course the construction costs, right? So that was without a doubt not hidden. That was very clear before I signed that lease. So what is the hidden expenses? One is gonna be insurance, right? Paying for insurance. Of course the utilities is gonna be there. There's a lot of permits that you might have to pay for example, materials that you didn't expect that weren't a part of the original estimate, right? Hey, it turns out we need like 5 more panels of wood that's gonna cost you $300, right? So those 4 things are kind of the smaller things, the hidden expenses. But then what you really don't think about is the many things that go into the structure, right? I just showed you guys how I'm gonna design a space, buying the big clothing rack. I keep saying that because it's actually huge, but the size makes it so much more expensive as well. That clothing rack in itself is $2,000. So when you see it, you'll kind of see why, but nonetheless, just to bring it to that luxurious feel, whereas I thought clothing racks were $500, I ended up spending $2,000, right? Display cases, although we're only gonna have a few, like I said in the design, each one of those are $500 and up, right? Especially when you start adding in lighting and whatnot. Of course, the shelves, the racks, even the art design, all those things start to pile up without you even noticing. Because really walking in, all you think about is the contractor fee. All you think about is the renovation cost. But it's all the extra things that fall in there afterwards that you really don't think about, including your POS system, for example. That's a few $1,000s that maybe you didn't walk in expecting, right? I did, but point is, there's a lot of other things you really don't know. And then most recently, the hidden expense that's hitting me is a branding package, right? I'm not a designer. I'm creative. I'd like to think I'm creative, but at the end of the day, when we're talking about pushing something out to the rest of the city or the rest of the world, you definitely want to get someone who's experienced with the designing. So I partnered up with someone who has their own clothing brand, but also works for designing companies. And so she is whipping up a branding package for me, business cards, tote bags, posters for advertisement, t-shirt, a whole bunch of other things that I don't really want to give out. But all that is an expense as well, right? And as you keep paying off things and as you keep adding more to the space, it opens up more doors to add even more to stick out, right? So that being said, I can't give you a number in terms of hitting expenses, but whatever estimate or quote you have walking in to a initial investment, like as soon as you sign the lease, that's what you're expecting to pay, safest bet would be to double it, all right? So if you thought you had to pay 40K, don't open up that store till you have 80K, all right? That's how you can feel comfortable walking in and in your grand opening not have like 3 pairs of sneakers for sale, right? Because you have to move them all just to pay for the wall, for example, all right? That's a great question, man. What else you got for me, man? Keep it coming, keep it coming. And remember, if there's a question that popped in your head, put it in the comments right now too, okay? But what else?
So people probably don't even think about this, but how do you even build your team just for this store?
Dope. Actually, that's a really good follow-up question after expenses, because you might think, hey, I only need 1 or 2 people to run the store. But as you really think about things such as marketing, pushing sales, managing, and whatever, you start to build more positions on the team mentally, just at least at first, just to be fully prepared, right? You don't want to walk in not having enough manpower. So that's also another hidden expense. But in terms of building my team, if you don't know, I actually don't do this full time. So during the day, I work for Chicago Public Schools as a special education administrator. If you've been following me for a while, you know this. And I serve 25 schools and making sure their special education programs are tight-knit, right? And that is my passion. That is something I love on top of this. So that being said, I'm not gonna be here throughout the day. So it's even more important to build my team and make sure they're reliable, right? So how did I do it? Had to start with the manager. Manager is going to be first, right? Because he or she is gonna be my right-hand man. When I'm not there, they should be able to do everything I'm able to do. So really how I found my manager is dipping into some personal connections, right? Throughout my business, I've met a lot of people who are managers at Foot Locker, are managers at Champs, right? And have that type of experience. And those are the sources I really dipped into before I started to funnel it out and find the right one, right? So that's how I found my manager. That's definitely key. Security card is definitely key as well, right? We have a lot of expensive product in here, and at the end of the day, keeping that protected and showing the city we're not afraid to do some serious stuff. That's important, right? So security guard and manager were the first two positions that filled, right? That being said, I don't necessarily want my manager pushing sales because when I spoke about previously luxury retail, managers don't really push sales. Their job is the logistics. Their job is the infrastructure and making sure the sales associates are doing their job and really meeting those goals. So that being said, after that was thinking about who are gonna be the people on the floor pushing sales every day. Given we're luxury retail, I'm not gonna say they're sales associates. I just think that is kind of like a low blow in terms of the title because they're not gonna be paid like sales associates and they're not gonna be treated like sales associates. Instead, they're gonna be treated like valuable members of the vital team. Therefore, the people on the sales floor is gonna be my product specialist and my stylist, all right? Those are gonna be the titles. When you walk in the store, please do not call them sales associates. That is super insulting to us, okay? Not really, but the product specialist, their job is to really be informed about every single thing coming into the store, inform the sales team and even the manager of what is this product, what are the selling points, why is this important for you, the client, to buy, right? So that every person that interacts with any staff can get the same message for, hey, this is hot right now and this is why, right? So the product specialist is doing that, and when we open up consignment, buying, selling, and trading, the product specialist will be responsible for that as well, all right? So that leaves the stylist, who is also gonna be pushing sales. Their main responsibility is to be on the sales floor, but the stylist is a little bit different, right? When someone's walking in for a pair of sneakers, the stylist's job is to build on top of that sneaker, right? Hey, you came in for the Red Thunder 4s, but guess what? We got this red fitted from Chrome Hearts or whatever it may be, right? And we got this red hoodie from Supreme, and that would go crazy together. So that person's job is to style, make appointments, reach out to clients that they've built relationships with, and really just build rapport and continue to have people coming in just for that stylist, right? So that's it. Really, those four positions I think will do in running a nice small store like this when I'm not here. I had to be very strategic about the team. One, the positioning, two, the pay, which is always open up for negotiation. So that's another hidden expense, right? You walk in expecting to pay something, and through negotiations, you're paying a little bit more, right? And then finally, the people that fill those positions are super important. And at least for now, since I built so many connections in my business, I'm dipping into people that I really have come to trust in terms of joining my team. Not doing any open applications quite yet. But we know Vital Case is gonna live on forever, so I'm sure in the future that opportunity might come. But as of right now, in terms of building the team, trust is everything. So yeah, that's how we got it.
Audio Jungle.
Okay, last question. What are your biggest concerns about this space?
Okay, everything, right? There's always anxiety at any new experience. Mostly, let me say this, and in chapter or vlog one, I said this as well, confidence is everything, and I am very confident we'll be successful, even with that team in this location. I'm super confident, right? So no matter what anxieties come along the way and worries, that confidence always has to come first, right? And that has to be forefront. Otherwise, you're not ready for this move, right? That's just the truth, okay? Because I know some people watching this are thinking about opening up a retail store, thinking about making this step that I've made, right? So I just want to say that anxiety and worry is always going to be there, even before you sign that lease. But make sure you have that confidence before you do it, because that's everything. All right, so that being said, what am I most concerned about? I think the grand opening is gonna be amazing. I think the first 2 years, everything's gonna be great, right? This is something that Chinatown is missing, and I know I'm bringing something to the culture of streetwear that is different, at least in terms of your experience walking in as a client. So I have no worries there. I think the worry is the amount of energy that I have to put in, right? Because no matter what, that's gonna be true. Even 2 years from now, what am I doing as an owner to continue to promote this business? 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, right? And not saying I can't outsource that stuff, but at the end of the day, Vital Kicks is my baby. This is my passion, so I wanna have as much control over it, right? So it's not exactly a concern that like I can't do it. It's more so a concern like, man, it's gonna get thick, right? And there's gonna be really tough days. There's gonna be hidden expenses, like I've already spoke about, surprises, employees being here, not being here, right? So all those things constantly cross my mind as I'm getting ready for the grand opening. Whether that's today or 2 years from now, that's something I need to think about, right? So energy is definitely one of them. But secondly, trust, right? Like I said, right now I have my team. And I do trust them, but at the end of the day, you never really know, especially if those people start to switch, right? And it's a huge thing for me to release control of my own inventory. If you guys have been following me for a while, you know I've been doing pop-ups, so I'm always with my inventory, hand in hand. I'm watching every single box in the space. And now I have to leave and let all that be with the team, right? So that's a little concerning, but at the end of the day, you're putting in the precautions, you're putting in the right steps and things to make sure that you can stay on top of it too, right? Such as a strong manager that does inventory checks, security systems, cameras, all that fun stuff, right? So I think initially those are like my biggest concerns, but as you guys can see, and as I said, at the end of the day, I can confidently say no matter what concerns or issues do come up, I have the confidence and I have the brain power to be able to handle it, all right? So I'm ready for this step, and so is my team, and I think that's the biggest thing that you have to keep in mind, all right? Don't let the concerns and anxieties hold you up. When you're ready to go, okay? All right, guys, so that is it for Mr. IH Productions questions, but like we keep saying, please interact with us in the comments, right? When it comes to these vlogs, I think that's the most important part. On top of all the knowledge I'm giving you, either show gratitude or ask additional questions, right? That type of stuff really keeps us going, and hopefully we're able to do that for you as well, right? But that being said, we've been moving boxes, bags since we've been in this place. I'm a lot more dusty than I was walking in, so I think it's about that time. But as always, guys, we appreciate you. Make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell, because though this is vlog number 2, trust we're gonna have a 3rd one and a 4th one until we're able to finally show the finished product, and continue vlogging even after that, right? Because I know you guys across the country, across the world, want to see how this store does if you're following along on our vlogs. So that being said, guys, don't forget it's your boy Vital, and we'll catch you in the next video, VK family.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.